today. And for smartphone users, it's one of the most important features. For the OnePlus 5, we really doubled down on the camera with the focus on clarity. Over the past few years, smartphone cameras have been catching up with DSLRs at an astonishing speed, but we've almost reached the limit of what we can do. It's simply due to physical space. Professional cameras have sensors that are up to 50 times larger than what's found in a typical smartphone. Think of a lens as a window. The wider the lens, the more light can flow to the sensor. In turn, a larger sensor can capture more light, which improves image quality in low light conditions. Here, look at this example of a photo taken in low light with a DSLR versus a smartphone. See how the first photo is much more clear than the second one? A wide aperture also allows professional cameras to render a shallow depth of field effect, known as bokeh. This is really great for portraits. But if we were to fit the specs of a DSLR camera on the back of a smartphone, it would look a little like this. We had to look for another solution to bridge the remaining gap between smartphones and professional cameras. And our answer was implementing a dual camera on the OnePlus 5. We didn't just improve the main sensor, we also added a second one. By adding a telephoto lens to our camera, the OnePlus 5 can accurately determine the distance between the sensor and objects in the environment. This opens up a range of new photography options. But first, let's take a closer look at the hardware behind our new dual camera. Picking the right sensor is about more than just getting the latest one. Our goal was to make sure the OnePlus 5 dual camera finished first in the race for clarity. But none of the sensors found on the shelves matched our ambitions. So we teamed up with Sony to create a tailor-made solution, the IMX398, a 16-megapixel sensor. Then we added a 20-megapixel sensor with a telephoto lens next to it. They're the highest resolution dual camera system on a smartphone, letting you take extremely clear photos. Inside of the sensor, we've got something pretty special. It's fast AF. Basically, it works a lot like your eyes. Your brain needs two overlapping fields of vision in order to focus on something. If you cover one eye, it's a lot harder to focus because you can't calculate depth as well. With fast AF, we're using both eyes of our main lens. This allows it to more accurately calculate depth, speeding up autofocus by up to 40%. Like we mentioned, a large aperture is key to taking clear low-light shots. The OnePlus 5's main lens has an aperture of f1.7, one of the largest on a smartphone, which allows the camera to capture a lot of light. A larger aperture also allows for faster snaps and helps compensate for stuttering to improve image stabilization. If the lenses and sensors are the eyes of our camera, our smart capture software is the brain, improving the clarity of your photos quietly in the background. Let's look at a photo taken at night. It looks a little noisy, don't you think? Whenever you take a photo with a lot of noise, the OnePlus 5 will automatically clear up noise by comparing different frames of the same photo and filtering out inconsistencies. Just look at the photo once the noise is removed. Next up is the zoom. Zooming in digitally with a smartphone is nothing more than stretching pixels, which leads to a loss in quality. Smart Capture combines optical zoom with multi-frame technology to let you zoom in with greater clarity. Just look at the difference. Have you ever taken a shot of a friend in front of a window only to end up with a black silhouette? We wanted to minimize the negative effects backlighting has on your pictures. The OnePlus 5's improved high dynamic range algorithm allows it to automatically adjust the photo to keep things clear in scenarios with backlighting, instead of casting some objects in the shadow. You're gonna use your camera to take all sorts of photos, like of friends and family, amazing landscapes, or that mustard grilled double-double with animal-style fries you had yesterday. Different scenarios require different optimizations. So we created a database using over 1,000 different photos to teach the Smart Capture chip how to optimize your shots. The OnePlus 5 can recognize the type of photo you're taking and automatically set the ideal exposure, white balance, and focus. Now, we talked about the hardware and the software. Next up are the features. We invited our friend, Emily Radakowski.
Like this. When you shoot a portrait, you want the focus to be on the person you're capturing and nothing else. Separating the background from a face enables the OnePlus 5 to apply a professional-looking depth of field, or bokeh, effect you'd normally need a DSLR for. A custom software algorithm adds a finishing touch to make sure your subject is clear and well lit. Any other smartphone camera around. So, even at a large size, images are clear and maintain quality, just in case you want to hang one above your couch.
OnePlus 5 was designed with an eye for clarity. In between the powerful new hardware and software, and great new features like portrait mode, the OnePlus 5 is our best smartphone camera yet. But the best way to back up the OnePlus 5's tagline, dual camera, clearer photos, is by showing you some of the great shots taken on the OnePlus 5 by some of our photographer friends. Look at the amount of details in this photo. They're really